Actually,
This one.
your screen is
Schedule.
too blur. Once stop the screen sharing
Blur.
once again. Yeah, it's too blur. But we can hear your voice properly. But yeah, once stop the screen sharing and once again start it.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's blur, but yeah, it's fine.
It's a bit blur.
So for step one, Kalki,
Yeah,
from the start.
yeah, from the start.
Okay.
Yeah, now the screen is okay.
We load the data.
No, yesterday I said this from SFTP server, right? I'm
Yeah,
asking, have
yeah.
you tried that?
Data source. I've
Yeah,
created data source.
yeah, just open the data source directly, not load data. Load data is used
Okay.
to manually load the data.
Yes. This particulars.
Yeah, very good.
Okay.
So you get a data source and you give the server port, file path, username, password. Yeah, everything is fine. You have created a transform app. Yeah, it's a normal transform app anyway. Have you created schedule import also?
Yes. GMT time.
Show me, show me.
Sorry. Just a second.
Yeah,
So Kalki, with this schedule, we can let's schedule the time, automate the
yes,
things to download
automatically.
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, automatically importing at a specific time from the external source. Like we
Mhm.
have we have discussed this schedule report also, right? At some particular point of time to mail the users with the report. The same way,
Yes, yes.
automatically to update the data by retrieving the data from the receptive server and to service no user table. Yeah.
Got it.
So
So
he made it
we no
run
need
daily
to download
at
manually.
4:32. Hmm?
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah. I checked the GMT time and 2 4 minutes time I gave it.
Perfect. Yeah, it's fine. Everything is fine. And stop the screen sharing.
Okay.
So only when you do, only you can remember everyone. That's what.
Right.
So today let's discuss about UI policies.
Okay.
What are UI policies? So what are UI policies and why it is used? So UI policies run on, remember this, UI policies run on client side. Okay. User to, UI policies are user to make fields read only or visible or mandatory or to clear any to clear the field value. Okay, so if anyone ask you what is UI policy, UI policy is used to make any field read only, visible, mandatory, or clear the field value, and it runs on client side. Client side means on the user web browser. Okay, this UI policy will run only for the form. Okay, on the client side, that means on the user's web browser. So let's discuss some things here. So how to create UI policies? Search for UI policies. Okay, this what UI policies. Firstly, let me delete any UI policy which I have created for instance table previously, so that I do not delete, deactivate, so that I don't want that to be. I think I have created this. Not sure. Okay, then let me make it inactive again. Mm, Let me see who created that. Three months ago. 3 months ago. Yeah, no, fine. Now, if you people are observed, let me show you. consider any table. So it depends upon the table to which you have written the UI policy. Okay. So for the people who have joined now, we are going to discuss about UI policies. UI policies are used to make any field read-only or mandatory or visible or edit or to clear that field value. And this UI policy is run on client side. That means on the user web browser. See here that UI policy will run for this form now. Okay. So if you consider here, mm, see, let me show you. Yeah. If I click on this resolved here, see here these two fields are getting mandatory, right? See, if I change the state to again something, again they will be non-mandatory. See, if I make it resolve, again that will be mandatory. So this is one of the, so this is actually done through UI policies. Once please anyone share your screen. Anyone who have their instance open, I think Shrikant has this instance open. Please share your screen, Shrikant. Open the incident form. Prasad or Jagadish or anyone is having their instance open, please reply.
Yes, Kalki, it is open.
No, I might need to open.
Okay, so Shrikant, please stop your screen sharing. Actually, we are getting your screen as blur. Okay,
Yep.
so Shrikant, please
Okay.
share your screen. Sorry, it's not Shrikant. Prasad, please share your screen.
I am sharing. Is it visible?
It is visible.
Oh, God,
Okay, it is
it's
still
waking
waking
up.
up. Okay, no problem. Let's wait for 1 minute.
Yeah.
So in my instance, I'll do small like different things, different. I'll while giving training, I'll do many modifications. So my
Right.
instance might behave differently. In some cases.
Got it. Due to the changes you are making, like
Yeah,
rapidly
I'll do
including.
all the testing, invention part, everything.
Right.
So as per the batch I train, like I'll do many changes, and during my practice also I'll do many changes to the instance. It might be anything. So it will
Correct.
be in some things it will not be out of the box. It will be modified. Some behavior will be modified because of that configuration which I have done.
Right.
So I want to show you an example, but I deactivated it previously in my instance. That's the reason. I think I have it. On all. Yeah, I have got it.
Some days, like waking up will take very less time, but some
Yeah.
days it is.
Yeah, Prasad, I got my I reconfigured the thing. Stop your screen sharing. I share my screen.
Yeah, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
that
sometimes
one.
it takes time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you observe in your instance for incident form, when you click on this state on hold, there'll be a new field will get populated just below this phone. See, on hold reason. See, this field is getting populated and it's mandatory. And if you make this state again to something, it will go back. Right, this is an
Yeah,
example of an
right.
UI policy. So using UI policy you can make any field mandatory or
Right.
visible or read only, or you can clear any field value. You can clear any field value. Okay, if I'm saying mandatory, you can make it non-mandatory also. Okay, if I'm saying visible means you can make it hidden also. If I'm
Right.
saying read only means you can make it editable also. Okay, okay.
Yes.
So now let me show them something.
Yes, yes.
Mm, Okay, let me do this. When on-hold reason is awaiting change, okay, only when the on-hold reason is awaiting change, I want this, sorry, awaiting problem. I want this problem field to be visible and mandatory. Okay, when this on-hold reason like is anything apart from awaiting problem, I don't want this field to be visible at all. Okay, I want this problem field to be visible and mandatory only when on-hold reason is awaiting problem. When on-hold reason is selected as awaiting problem. Okay, let's do
Yes.
that. Okay, so you need to go to the UI policies and click on new. So these are all the UI policies. So if you want to see, so this UI policy is applying for incident table, this UI policy applying for some playbook table, this UI policy applying for this table, like this. You cannot which UI policy are applying for which table. Okay. So if you want to create new UI policy, click on new. Okay, to which table you want the UI policy to be applied. Now I should select which table here.
Incident table.
Incident table.
Yes. Give the table and give a short description of that UI policy, so that if anyone wants to know what this UI policy is doing, they can easily know by just reading the short description. Okay, so it's always better to give the short description in a very good way, so that it will be easy to understand what this UI policy actually does. Okay, let me problem field mandatory and visible when Arnold reason is awaiting problem. Okay, and what is the condition that I want to go when you want this UI policy to run. So when I want to do this, when the Arnold reason is awaiting problem and I want this operation to perform, right? Action to perform, right? So I'll give the
Yes.
condition as Arnold reason is awaiting problem. So if you want to add any other conditions, if anything condition, we will add it by and or like this. Okay, but no, I have only one condition, so I'll give this condition. Okay. Okay, now coming to
Yes.
this global, once read what is there here.
If selected, the UI policy applies to all form views. Otherwise, the UI policy is view specific. Okay.
So if you remember, I have discussed about the views, right, for the forms, right? If you remember.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if that, yeah, so if this global checkbox is true, this UI policy will be applied for all the views. So
Views,
if you
okay.
want this UI policy to be applied to only some specific view, and make this as false, and you set that particular view here. Okay, but mostly
Okay.
give it as global. Okay, and the next thing, like I will discuss this through two later. Okay, but now let's come to this inherit. Okay,
Okay.
just read it here.
Tables that extends the specific table inherit this UI policy. Okay. So this is for the extends table, like we extended while like creating a table take task
Yes.
table, so
The-
that
It it
Yeah.
it might have been for the parent and the
child
child
table.
table.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you want this UI policy to be applied to the child tables also, then you make this as true. Otherwise, false. Okay. That is what this checkbox actually mean. If there is any table which is extending the incident table, then you want this UI policy to be applied to the child table also, then you make this checkbox as true. If not false, that's it. So these two checkboxes, I'll say it later. But now, let me just save it. So I should first save it. After adding the condition, I should save it. Okay. Then we'll get a related list new here. We'll get a related list known as UI policy actions. So in that you should configure whether you want to make any field matter visible or read only. See here in UI policy action. Okay. Click on new.
Yes.
Okay. Which field? We're discussing about which field?
Incident
This field, right? Problem field, right?
Problem.
problem
So
field.
problem field. Select problem field here. Yeah. And as I said, when honor is awaiting problem, I want this field to be mandatory and visible, right? So
Yes.
I'll make mandatory true and visible true. And I won't disturb any of these. Okay. I'll leave it as leave alone. Leave alone means how the field is configured, it will be like that only. Okay. Leave alone means, okay. Click on submit. That's it. Now refresh the form. See, this UI policies will not be applied on the list view. Please remember, okay. You might get this question from your interviewer. Okay, he might ask this question to make you confused. This UI process will not run work on the list view. It only run or work on the form view. Form only on the client side only. Okay. Okay. So when coming to see, can't the honor lesson is we don't have this honor lesson field. So it's not the field is not visible, right? Now let
Yes.
me make Arnold. Anyways, now was it not visible? It's not visible. Fine. Now let me make it as awaiting problem. See, it is mandate and visible. Perfect. Perfect.
Yes. Yes.
And now let me select any other option now. So it should be not visible again. It should be hidden now. It is hidden, right?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. Now let me show you this. See, let me make this reverse if false checkbox as false and save. Now you'll understand why that checkbox is very important. Currently, don't worry about it. Currently, don't worry about this field now. Anyways, okay. Now let me make this on hold and awaiting problem.
Yeah.
Fine. It's visible and mandatory. But
Yes.
if I make it anything again, see, it's staying. It's still
Okay.
staying. It's not
Yeah.
reverting
Yeah.
back, right? So
Correct.
because of the checkbox, previously what happened? If this is true, this is working. If this is not true,
Yes.
it's not reverting back, right? So
Correct.
that's what this recursive false does. So to revert back, this recursive false should be true. See, it will reverse the effects of the UA policy actions when the condition evaluates to false. Have
False.
you people understood or not?
Yes.
Everyone.
Yes.
Okay, now
Yes.
I'll make it true again and I'll just again just show you how it's working. Let's see everything is perfect now or not. Okay, now again let me awaiting on hold, awaiting problem. Perfectly, yeah, it's visible, mandatory. Now let make it something again. Yeah, it's not visible. Yeah, it's not visible now. Okay,
Yes.
now let, let me get awaiting problem and let me select something and let me select something here and let me save. So anyways, this form is in awaiting problem and yeah, problem is visible. Okay,
Right.
okay. Now let me do this. Let me make this on hold checkbox as false. Firstly, read this. Everyone read it. So let me
Yes.
show you.
Yes.
So if I make this checkbox as false, this UI
Mhm.
policy will not run during the loading of the form. Okay. Now let me show you. If I refresh this, can't it's awaiting problem, it's visible in monitor, right? So let me refresh it. Yeah, it's awaiting problem. And yeah, okay,
Yes.
it's not monitor, but it's visible. You can, yeah, you can feel that it's okay. But let me show you. When you make it something else, it's not visible, right? Now,
Yeah.
let me again save. See now it's not visible perfectly. It's working perfectly. And now again, if you make this problem, yeah, it's working perfect. Now let me make some another thing. So now let me save it. Do you think the field will be visible now or not?
It
Do
will
you think
not visible. No, it will not be visible.
why?
Because we have like as the policy says, no, that which the changes have done. There's
Exactly.
only the
See,
time. Yeah.
see, it should not be
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because this UA policy is not running. Because we made this checkbox is false. So this UA policy will not run when the form loads. Okay.
Yes.
So basically a UA policy will run when any field is changed on the on the form or when the form loads. See, if you consider form loads, so you can consider if you click on save, the form will be loaded, right? So this time also that UI policy will run. Okay. And if you open any new form, if you open any new form, if you open a new form, in that case also that onload will run. Okay. That in that case of the form is loading, right? Then that UI policy will definitely run. Okay.
Yes.
And when you
Yeah.
open any existing record also this UI policy will run. Okay. So
Correct.
this is what the importance of onload. It depends. It depends upon the requirement when you where you want this to be true or not. Mostly 99% of the cases it will be true only. Okay.
Yeah.
Understood everyone?
Yes.
Any doubts here? Okay, I think we got this new. I think mine is Zurich version, so we got this as new for related lists. Previously, until Yokohama, we used to have only UI policy actions only to make visible to mandatory read only for fields, but we have got this related list also now. But let me see through this. I think we can make any field. Yeah, it's just visible. You know, related list. Related list this way. Nothing. See, if you ask me what are related list, these are all the related list. So a related list will display the records from the same table or different table which have some relation with the current record. Okay, so that's why related list will be visible only after the form is saved. For new record, this related list will not be visible. See, this is a new record. See, the related list is not visible. Related list will be visible only for existing records. Only when you save any record. For new records, this related list will not be visible. Okay, if anyone asks you what is related list will display the records. It might be the current table records or another table records which have some relation with this parent record. Parent record means this record. Okay, for this related list, this is the parent record 221. Okay, so previously
Yes.
we did not have this related list visibility through this UI policies, but we currently we have that also. So here we can select what are the related list you want visible, that related list, and want visible or hide or leave. Okay, like this also you can configure. Okay, we got it in Zurich. In Yokohama, I believe it's not there in Yokohama. Okay.
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 Mm. So what I want you to do today is, everyone understood UI policies or not?
Yes.
Okay. So problem field. See everything incident table only. Okay. Problem field should be visible and mandatory. The same what we have done now. Only when on old reason is awaiting problem and change request field awaiting change mandatory and work notes. It's not like that. Can't say it. Yeah, and see change request field means this field. Don't worry. Change request. Okay. And when on hold reason is awaiting vendor, an on hold reason is awaiting vendor. I want this work notes field to be mandatory. I will see how people will do that. Work notes field should be mandatory when stay on all reason is awaiting change. Okay, so if you observe here, let me make this Arnold and awaiting caller. See, awaiting. If you make this awaiting caller, okay, let me see this. Like if you make this awaiting caller, this additional comments field will be mandatory. So if you give any additional comments and if you click on save, see what will happen now. See, yeah, anyway, the Arnold is awaiting caller, but the additional comments field is mandatory now. Is it mandatory now? Is it mandatory now?
No, no, it is not mandatory now.
No. In the same way,
Yeah.
only when the awaiting reason is changed to awaiting vendor, only then I want work notes to be mandatory. Got it?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So any idea how you will do that? Hmm? Any idea? See, actually, this awaiting caller additional comments matter is there, right? There is UI policy which is running actually to do that. Okay, but
Okay.
if you clicked on save, again, anyways, it's on awaiting call only, but it's not mandatory. Why? Why? Let me open
Because
the UI
this
policy.
because the
Hmm?
same condition, I guess, that load uh,
Yes,
that we have bunch.
onload checkbox.
Oh no,
Maybe,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
Exactly. That is the reason.
yes,
That's what,
there
as
is
per
need
the
to be
requirement,
replaced.
we can use that onload true
correct.
or false. Mostly it will be true only.
Yeah.
Let me see that. It should be there. Mm, Yeah, I think this is the one. Since
Okay.
onload is false, see,
Yes.
that is
Mm.
what. Anyways, I won't show it.
So if
So
it
if
will
you are running
be
not like that,
true,
you can
then
configure them.
yeah.
It should be false.
Oh no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if it will be true, then that won't work. Like when it is refreshing or when we are
Yeah, again
reloading.
it will be
Um,
mandatory. We
correct.
can't do any update. It will be every time it will be mandatory.
Yes.
And let me go to change request and see if I can give anything here. And don't forget one thing here, guys. When this visible, when this visible is true, this should be false. Okay. When this is false, this should be true. Okay, it should be like inverted. If this is false, it should be true. And if this visible is true, it should be false. Okay, for now, let me try this. Let me give it as false. Okay. And let me do this. False. Let me do it in reverse actually. Mandatory false, visible false. Is not save. And let me just refresh this. Anyways, we have the problem. Do we? But remember, it should be false. If the visible is false, clear the field value should be true. And if this is true, it should be false. It should be reverted every time. Check it. And so you can write the script also here. I will say it after later, not now. So when we're discussing about scripting in the advanced training, then I will say the scripts, not now. So you will mostly use this UI policy, not mostly you use this UI policy only to make any field mandatory visible read only and for related list visibility. Okay, we got it now recently. Previously it should be not there. We got it recently. And these are the three requirements which you should actually do. Okay.
Yes.
And so we have discussed this is client side, right? So like that we have data policies which will run on server side, the backend. Okay, let me show you how those will actually run. Consider I will write a data policy to make. So this data policy also use it to make any field read only or mandatory, not visible. Because in server side we can't make any field visible or invisible, right? It's not possible, right? So that's why this visible will not be there in data policies. And here also have this inner tick box, reverse if false, and active. So if you want this UI policy to be applied for import sets, then it will make it true. If you want this UI policy to apply for integration, SOAP APIs, you make it as true. If you make this as false, once see. Let me make it as save. Make save. And let me do this thing. Consider. Let me deactivate this. Okay, this will run on the server side. Okay. I want to make problem field mandatory. Now see what will happen. Anyways, I deactivated this UI policy. Okay, see, I deactivated it. So you also don't delete anything, just deactivate it. So if you make this awaiting problem in the UI policy, in the data policy which I have configured, I made it as I made it as mandatory. So as I said, anyway, data policy run on server side. So in the server side, this problem field should be mandatory, but I'm not giving any value now here. See, and if you click on save, see what will happen. Already seeing invalid update data policy exception. Okay, na? Okay,
Yes.
na?
Yes.
So it will
Yeah.
run on server side. For example, now let me deactivate this data policy. I just said UI policy will run on only on the client side, right? That means on the form only. It will run only on the form, not on the list view also. For example, if you deactivate this data policy and let me activate the UI policy only. Let me activate this UI policy and I'll just show you whether it will run on list view or not. And let me show you the difference. So client came to you and said that when it's awaiting problem, it should be mandatory, something like this. Okay. Anyways, it will work. It's fine. Otherwise, yeah. Let me check the list view now. Let me add both the annual reason also. Yeah, we add the annual reason also. Yeah. So annual reason awaiting problem is mandatory. So let me change this. Not this. Let me change the state of any something from here. Arnold and awaiting problem. But it's not asking anything mandatory, right? Now let me deactivate the data policy. Let me activate the data policy. Let me change some other form. Arnold. See, it's saying exception. See,
Yes.
that's what. See,
The
actually, don't
following
give a
fields are
condition here.
mandatory.
Let me give the condition. Sorry, let me give the condition here. Arnold reason awaiting problem. Let me change for another thing. Arnold awaiting problem. See, that's what UA policies will run on client side on the form only.
Great.
It will
Yes.
not run on the server side. See, when we're doing this save, that means some operation is running on in server side. Then this
Yes.
data policy will run as per the condition. Okay. Okay.
Yes. So it's only on like not a list, only on this form.
Yeah, UA policy will run only on the form. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
But you can convert a UA policy to data policy and a data policy to convert to UA policy also easily. There should be some related link here. There will be a related link here to convert this UA policy to data policy. For example, you have created this UA policy and you want this to be converted to data policy, then you should have some link here. I don't know why it's not visible here. It should be visible. Let's see in data policy. Yeah, we have this convert this to UA policy, right? The same way we'll have in the UA policy side also. But I think we are both are having same condition, right? That's why it might not be visible anyways. See, if you see again, let me show you. I'll deactivate this UA policy. Okay. I'll deactivate this UA policy in the data policy. Let me remove this condition and let me just save it. And let me show you the incident form. In the data policy, what I have made field mandatory, right? So let's see whether the field will be mandatory or not here. Yeah, it is saying it's not mandatory. Okay, but let me save. Wait, let me again refresh. Did it deactivate this data policy? No, it's active only. But let me remove this. And anyways, it doesn't matter state. See what is saying? See here it's not showing mandatory. But when we are saving, as the operation is some operation is doing happening on the server, then this data policy is running and it's checking. It's saying the following fields are mandatory. Got it? So if you want this data policy to run on the client side also, they can directly make this as true instead of counting to the UI policy. So now let me refresh this. Yeah, see it's mandatory. See, I did not deactivate the UI policy. I just made this data policy as uses UI policy on the client. Okay, instead of converting this to UI policy again, you can make this checkbox true also. Okay. See this
Yes.
data policy will run on server side when any operation is performed on the server. Okay. Only when saved only this data policy will run. If you want this data policy to run on the client side also, that means on the UI through UI policy also, you can make this as true. Otherwise, you can click on this convert this to UI policy. So it will automatically create a UI policy. It will automatically create a UI policy for you. So I want this what see saying a new UI policy created from data policy. And you see UI policy action will be automatically created. Conditions also we get conditions also from that, but there is no condition we gave on data policy, so we don't get any condition. Short description, in data policy, the short description we haven't given anything, so we not got it. In this we can convert. See, this way say we'll get this convert this to data policy like that. We can convert a UI policy to data policy, and you can convert a data policy to UI policy also. Okay, and the
Yes.
change request. Let me do this. Yeah, for the change request, when the impact, no, sorry, when the risk is I, okay, when the risk is I want this configuration item field to be mandatory. Okay, when risk is high, then configuration item field should be mandatory. Okay, this should work on server side also. Okay, I think you understood it.
Yes.
So I want this to be done. Policies and data policies. Any questions today? Any questions? Everyone got clarity about data policy and UA policy. So you'll get the intro question like this. What's the difference between UA policy and data policy? You say like this.
So
UA
Kalki,
policy
like
run on the client side, data policy run on the server side. Using
server
UA
side.
policy, we can make any field mandatory, visible, read only, or clear the field value. But through data policy, we can make only the field mandatory or read only. Only we can do any of these two operations only. And we can convert, like if they ask, if we can convert UA policy to data policy, yeah, you can convert. Can you convert data policy to UA policy? Yes, you can convert. Okay. And does this data policies work for import sets or not? A question for you. Does this data policies will run for import sets?
Yes, it will, I guess.
Yeah, I
It
have
will be
shown you,
required.
right? There is checkbox.
Yes,
Apply for import sets.
correct.
If it is true, it will work. But for import sets, UI policies will not run. UI policies will run only for the form. Okay.
Yes.
So these are the questions within this UI policies. So in this, we are, this checkbox, inherit checkbox, reverse if false, global, onload. So what
Onload,
is
yes.
what you should know. That's it. That's it from UI policies and data policy. And another thing here. Uh, let me show you again. Anyways, let me show you. So in the UI policies, we have this script and action also, right? We have this UI policy action and the script also. I have shown you, right? See the script and action. But this action will run first and then this UI policy will run. Okay. Okay. UI policy actions will run first. So consider I made this field mandatory and visible here, right? So if I made that problem field mandatory, like non-mandatory and not visible through the script, finally the field will be non-mandatory and non-visible only because the script will run after UI policy's action. Okay, got it?
Yes. Yes.
Mostly you will not use this UI policy scripts. So if you are having any case of using UI policy scripts, you will use client scripts, which I will say later. Okay, but you will use this UI policy only for mandatory, visible, read only, clear the field only for these simple things only. You can do scripting also, but you won't do scripting. If you really need to do scripting, then you will do use client scripts. Okay.
Okay. Because this, like in this part, it will be like by default, like scripting will be run after any changes is done, right?
Yeah, order is by default. It will run first. This UI policy action will run first, and then the script will
So
run.
there is no meaning of changing it in that relative fields, right? Relative fields.
Meaning of changing in the
Related list.
related list. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. We mostly won't use this UI policy scripts. We will only do this. That's what, as per the example which I have done, I'm making this visible, true, and mandatory true. If I make the two fields, if they make the field again here visible and non like hidden and non-mandatory, inverse it will not be mandatory and not invisible
Right.
because this script will run later at the
Right.
last. Any
Got
other
it.
questions? Okay, this executive to executive false is there, right? So if this condition evaluates to true, then this script will run on condition executive true. If this condition is false, is not if it's not satisfying, then the script which will write here, it will run. That will run. Okay, got it?
Yes. Yes.
Scripting, anyways, I'll tell you later. So it's not required for you to know about the scripting. Worry about the scripting in this web policies. Any other questions here?
So Valkyan, which things it will be required? Like we can change UI to data and data to UI. So which fields will be like in practical, where it will be required, depending on the client side, or if any internal policies changes and we need to make that visible to our clients
Depending
and
on the client.
okay, okay,
The client will say so that that we should do. Depending on the client only.
okay, okay. Mhm.
Anyway, they will think about all the internal things, about all the improvements, and they will say to us, okay,
Correct.
without this saying, we shouldn't do anything, right? We're just normal
Yes,
developers,
yes,
but we are working
yes,
for them. That's it, right? So without their approval, we shouldn't do anything.
correct. So any input, any changes, it will be given. We just have
Yeah,
to act upon
clearly
that.
they will change. Clearly they
Yeah,
will say. Clearly
yeah,
they will give. So if you're having very good team, actually every team will have an architect, lead, and junior developers, senior developers, right? So an
okay,
architect will give you do it this way. He will say like you should do in
right,
this way
right.
only. Okay.
Okay.
So there's no
Mm-hmm.
problem. Actually there are multiple ways to configure things in service, no? But
Mm-hmm.
the architect will know the recommendable ways. Even we also will know, but he will know much better than us. So he will say,
Right.
he will also mention do in this way. So you need to do in that way. That's it.
Got it. Yeah. And one out of the box question, actually, I think I like it. Like, first day also we have asked it actually. So, Kalki, you are working right now, correct? Like you are into some farm.